Hey, this is MassX with a brand new Jujutsu Kaisen fan and parade video, and clearly the embargo is off. So let's talk about the big news. And yes, this is the Japanese version of the game, but we're going to be talking about global specifically, not the Japanese version. And why? Because we know now in the end of January, we are going to get the hidden inventory characters. And why did I want to bring up the Japanese version of the game? Because it speaks a lot, at least when you start thinking about these characters and who you should go for. So it is no surprise that my two highest units right now in the Japanese version of the game are the Toji and the Teen Gojo. They have become staples of my farming teams. You know, when you're autoing, especially when we get the AI version, it's much more effective. But these two, as you can see, I've got them leveled up the highest. And they're literally, if you look at the skills, he's completely maxed, Teen Gojo. If you look at Toji, he's 99999 all the way. I mean, they are the two characters that I have probably used more than anybody else up until Anniversary came, with the advent of course, the Domain Gojo, the new Anniversary Yuji, and of course now with Sukuna out, this may change, but those two were that important to my account moving forward. And I don't want to disregard Geto either. Great character, but you can just tell the difference where Geto is and where those two are, how I kind of place them. And really what it's going to come down to is needs when you start looking towards planning for the future with them coming in a few weeks, probably the 3rd or 4th week of January. But if I'm a bet man, I'm thinking it's going to be the 3rd week of January. And if we even look at the JJK Fan and Parade wiki, you're going to see both of those characters, 2 of the 3 of them, for Japan are still considered absolute top tier. And so is Geto under the support roles. Now, in a perfect world, yeah, you would like to be able to get all 3. They're all 3 stellar characters. They're going to go a long way to help out your team. But in reality, a lot of people aren't going to be able to do that. So how do you approach this? Well, it's going to really be what you need the most for your team. Now, we all know a next level yellow DPS is something that is really going to be important, especially for tower. I rank personally Teen Gojo as the main pickup first and foremost. Why is that? Well, first off, he's yellow. Okay. And the story right there. Second, his characteristic, when he has a critical hit, he increases his own damage. On his kit 1, skill 1, deals melee combined damage equal to 125.4% taijutsu and 95.2% jujutsu to the selected enemy, attracts the selected enemy's attacks to self. Awesome. At 10, that damage goes up the taijutsu to 208.2% and the jujutsu to 158.2%. Absolutely stellar. Now, when you go to the skill 2, the Limitless Curse technique, at level 1 grants attack immunity to self, which is perfect, which is what you want to see. Increases own damage received by 30% for 3 turns. Increases own jujutsu damage by 5% for 5 turns. While increases own jujutsu damage special is active, changes skill into curse technique disclosure. Increases own damage by 53.94% for 4 turns. Increases own critical hit rate by 30%. Yeah, his kit is absolutely stellar. And at level 10, those percentages, as you can see, just go up. Now, His skill 3, Limitless Convergence, deals 260.3% range jujutsu damage to the selected enemy, decreases the selected enemy's damage by 30% for 2 turns, and that's at level 1. At level 10, it's dealing 433.1% damage. Crazy stuff. And then we gotta get to the ultimate. And then we'll talk about what's really one of the most important aspects of this character. At the ultimate curse technique, maximum cursed energy output blue, level 1 deals 1001.5% range jujutsu to all enemies. And at 10, that goes up to 1503.7%. His combo ultimate effect increases own and combo allies' critical hit damage by 15%, deals 100% range jujutsu damage to all enemies. Good stuff. And the auto skills. Limitless Curse Technique. At the start of battle, grants attack immunity to self for 2 turns. So right out of the gate, he's got that. Increases own damage received by 30% for 2 turns. Increases own jujutsu damage special by 5%. But you're probably going, is there something missing? There isn't. He doesn't leave the field. That's what makes this character so good. And the premier yellow DPS. Absolutely stellar. You're not playing with the amount of turns you've done. Just when this character came into Japan, it changed everything. Now, if you don't need a yellow DPS, which most people will, but let's say you don't, or you have to get Toji instead, you're not losing a lot. Toji is absolutely another stupid character. He's red type, but of course, if you have Yuta right now, then you've already got a solid DPS for red. That's why Toji falls to that second position because of that, because a lot of people pulled for Yuta. So it's not as desperate or necessary. His characteristic, of course, is unable to recover or consume cursed energy. Makes total sense. His skill 1, Exorcism Slash, deals 180% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, decreases the selected enemy's critical hit resistance by 15.3%, and at level 10 jumps up to 298.8% taijutsu damage and 22.5% critical hit resistance down. The Slaughter Slash at skill 2, okay, deals 331.5% taijutsu damage on the selected enemy, and that's at level 1. At level 10, it goes to almost 500%. Like I said, stellar DPS. His skill 3 increases own break damage by 170% at level 1, removes attack nullification and removal buff from the selected enemy, deals 130.6% melee taijutsu damage to the selected enemy, and at 10, okay, the break damage goes to 255.6%, and the melee damage goes to 195.4%. Just really another amazing character. The ultimate All Things I Can Handle at level 1 removes attack nullification and removable buff from all enemies, deals 960.3% range taijutsu damage to all enemies. At level 10, it's basically 1600% range taijutsu damage to all enemies. Again, there's nothing bad to say about this character. The combo ultimate effect increases own and combo allies taijutsu damage by 10% for 3 turns. Yada yada yada, 100% range taijutsu damage to all enemies. Now the auto skills for this character, and there's quite a bit to go over here. Physically Gifted. At the start of battle, increases own taijutsu damage by 50%, recovers own HP by 3.5% every turn, reduces own damage received by 15%, evades single target attacks, chance 20%, grants guaranteed hit immunity to self, cannot be targeted by some skills and statuses. When critical hit is performed, grants guaranteed hit status to self, chance is 50%. Yeah. Just great. Then we've got, I think I'm getting my edge back now. When critical hit is performed, increases own taijutsu damage by 15%. That's for 3 turns. Can't be stacked. While the previous effect is activated, when critical hit is performed, increases own taijutsu damage by 25% for 3 turns. Can't be stacked. Just another absolutely stellar character, but it's going to come down to what your need is going to be. Now, we don't want to skip over Team Ghetto, but I do slot him in as 3rd. He's a green type character. So again, you probably don't need him, but he's also support, and a damn good support at that, okay? Characteristic for this character is at the start of each turn, recovers own cursed energy by 20. When critical hit is performed, increases own taijutsu damage and jujutsu damage. His skill 1 kit instant strike deals melee combined damage equal to 100% taijutsu and 61.4% jujutsu to the selected enemy. If own cursed energy is 30 or above, it increases his own critical hit rate by 20%. If his cursed energy is 40 or above, increases own damage by 20%. And at level 10, okay, that melee combined damage goes to 150.4% taijutsu and 90.2 jujutsu. And yeah, he's just a solid character, and he's really, that sliding scale with cursed energy just becomes much more effective the more you use him and really watch how to play him. Skill 2 Cursed Spirit Manipulation deals range combined damage equal to 50% taijutsu, 130.1% jujutsu to the selected enemy. That's at level 1. Increases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage received by 12.6%, and that's for 4 turns. If own cursed energy is 35 or above, increases the selected enemy's jujutsu damage received by 12.7%. That's for 4 turns. And at level 10, those damages go up to 83.3 and 216.5%. The increase to the damage received is at 18%, and the jujutsu damage received goes to 19.9% on that cursed energy 35 or above. Skill 3 Cursed Spirit Manipulation deals range combined damage equal to 220.7% taijutsu, 120.7% jujutsu to the selected enemy. Increases the selected enemy's taijutsu damage received by 12.6%. If own cursed energy is 30 or above, increases the selected enemy's taijutsu damage received by 12.7%. And at level 10, it goes up to 366.5% and 199.9%. Yeah, just a solid character. I mean, you're not going to go wrong with any of them, but for practicality purposes, you know, Teen Gojo just, to me, is that top. Ultimate Rainbow Dragon at level 1 deals ranged combined damage equal to 550% taijutsu and 660.3 jujutsu. Increases own break damage by 80.7%. Increases own maximum cursed energy by 40 for 4 turns. And recovers own cursed energy by 20, which just makes him so effective. At level 10, that combined damage goes to 916.3% and 1099.5%. That increase to own break damage goes to 105.9%, increase own maximum cursed energy by 40, and recover own cursed energy by 20. The combo ultimate effect with this character increases own and combo allies damage by 10%. Now the auto skills for this character: Absorption. When defeating an enemy, recovers own cursed energy by 10. The more enemies defeated at once, the greater the cursed energy recovery. So, solid, again, another solid character. I can't bad talk any of these characters. They're all good. But Teen Gojo is, in my opinion, the cream of the crop. Now again, if you're not going after all of them, or if you're not going after 2 of them, and you really need to pick, look and see what you currently have. And do you have any glaring weaknesses in yellow? Do you have any glaring weaknesses in green? Do you have any glaring weaknesses in red? That's your step to look at this. You are not going to go wrong with any of these characters. So know that, okay? That's not even an issue right there. But if you didn't get Yuta and you want to go after Toji, by all means, shoosh, you will not be disappointed. The combo for, especially because there's so much farming that when you can't skip in this game, I can't tell you how much I use the tandem of those two, and it's just game over, goes quickly, great. Don't have to look at a damn thing. Even without the auto AI, trust me, they're just gonna plow through. But so be ready. I don't think people can be legitimately upset at this point. It was pretty much put out there in December that they had not given any indication for sure for January yet, but we all knew if they're going to give us all these weeks of basically lackluster banners and events for us to do to garner up stuff, it's because they were planning on bringing something big in. Now, what does that mean for the future, though? Well, for the future, I think there is no doubt now how they've done this. Because remember, hidden inventory was at the 6-month anniversary, 6-month anniversary in Japan. For the year anniversary, they brought in, of course, the domain Gojo and our new Yuki. Now that we're getting the 6th anniversary characters early, there is no doubt in my mind for the 6-month anniversary, we will be getting the 1-year Japanese characters, which was the domain Gojo, as you see there, as well as the anniversary yellow Yuji Itadori. Now, what does that mean? Well, I have a feeling this is how this is going to play out. They are going to then release Sukuna at some point after that. And now that takes us, where are we going to go at our first year anniversary? Well, I'm wondering if they're going to link us up to have Japan 6 months ahead of us. And so what that would mean is for our 1 year, that would be the same characters as the 1 year, 6-month Annie for Japan. That would allow them the playroom for the coding and things that are going to be necessary. And unless they want to get us day to day with Japan, I think that's probably what they're trying to do right now, is get us, and they'll just be this 6-month period, so to speak. Now, I could be wrong, and they could just rush us, and we go at day to day, all are the same, and the story very well could go that route. But really, that's the only choice. It's going to 1 or 2 at this point, how they're going to do this. And given that we are getting hidden inventory instead of at 6 months, at 3 months, now if they follow that roadmap, then basically, it would make a lot of sense to go the route that just keeping us behind approximately 6 months. But I could be wrong. But to me, that would, if they need to allow time for coding changes and changes for global, which would make sense, that's what they would do. Now, that doesn't mean they're going to do that. We could basically be day to day with Japan, or just be like a month behind if they feel that they don't need more time for coding once the game is up to snuff. And that's the big question mark we have right now, is how long is it taking them to code this right now and get this prepped for us? We don't have the auto AI. We don't have, the pity tickets and an assortment of other little things, which do require, them fixing coding for the global version of this game. If they can get all this stuff done and it all drops, let's say at the 6-month Annie for global, then I pretty much feel that's where we're going to go with this game. And we're just going to be behind about a half year, not a full year with the game. And honestly, things should calm down a bit at that point. But I'm going to be blunt. The characters that come after 6 Annie, not that they are must-gets, are heads and tails improvements over the first 6 months of the game. When the game hit the 6-month Annie to 1 year, there were some other great character banners that came out during that time and solid characters. So if that's what they're trying to do, that actually almost makes sense to me, because get through the BS of the first 6 months, because honestly, it wasn't very impressive, the Japanese version. It didn't really turn the corner until after the 6-month Annie, with the types of characters that dropped, as well as the introduction of the auto AI and other things that I've spoken about. So that wouldn't shock me if that's where this is going. So all speculation at this point. Point of the matter is, we know hidden inventory is coming. Be prepared, see what you need. Just know that anything you do get out of those 3 characters, they're all great. They're all great. You're not going to go wrong with any of them. So with that, as always, please like and subscribe. It helps a lot. Have a great day.